everybody else in Cyprus was on holiday today, I remembered I owe you a video. So here goes. Supposedly I was going to show you how to add products to your website because you couldn't remember. So you go to the website /wp-admin. You should have your own logins. Obviously, in this case, I'll be using my logins to get in, but our login is basically the same, so it doesn't really change anything. Ignore all the messages and stuff. It's just, it is what it is. All you care about, and the only thing you actually care about and need to look at is the thing that says WooCommerce. Well, not WooCommerce, but under WooCommerce it says products, all products. Now, how do we add products in general? I will, just to prove a point, I will find, let's just say, for example, today you want to add products into the diving category. I select diving here, and then I hit filter. And the reason I do this is because that means that the category and everything else is already set. Now, what's the next step for the product? To begin with, I'm going to remind you that your products have what we call SKU numbers. So they're unique numbers to show you what product we're talking about. Let's just assume in this case that I am adding a new torch, which has the SKU number dive torch, this one is 005. Let's make our new torch 006. The easiest way for you to actually add a product is by duplicating an existing one. So if you put your mouse over the duplicate button, over the, not the title, but you hover over the bottom of the title, you'll see a quick menu. This ID is the system ID. The rest is edit, quick edit, trash, view, duplicate. So in this case, we'll hit duplicate. Now what happens? It takes you to the actual product editor. So now I'm gonna make it so that this is called, I don't know, I'm just gonna put here the Skywood DHL George, just because I know I'm gonna not well, if I publish it, I'll then be able to delete it. But anyway, so this is the title of the product. Because we're changing the title, you have to click edit and just simply remove what's here, because it will give it a new URL, and you hit enter there. So again, you hit edit and you can delete this and then just hit enter with it being empty. It will generate a new one. It basically says whatever George, so it gave it a new URL. In here, we add the description. From what I remember, you used to give this to me in like an Excel sheet, and I just threw the description in as it was. Now, to the most important bits and pieces, you need a description, obviously, for Google. You paste it in like a Word document. Not really rocket science. The next piece you care about is that it's a single product. It is, in the general settings, we add the price. In this case, the product is 100 euros. The next thing you would look at essentially is that this is, by default, it's already set, but make sure that this is taxable because there's tax on this product. And this is set to standard. These are all defaults, but in case they are not set, just make sure that that's fine. Now, the next thing we hit is inventory. Now, in inventory, we add the number. Now, the SKU number. In our case, it was something like 06, I think. I can't remember now, but anyway, I can't remember if this is the right number, but it should be. So because you don't have numbers, or you don't want your products to seem out of stock, we just set it to in stock. If you wanted to actually manage the quantities, you would hit track quantity, and then you would add the quantity here. The reason you don't do this, I think, on most of your products is because sometimes you might sell some, but you might still have more coming in and stuff like that. I can't remember if you do quantities or not. I'd have to check. But if you gave me quantities, then I probably added them. If there's no quantity for this torch that I duplicated, that means that torch didn't have a quantity in the Excel sheet. But assuming you had wanted to track quantities, you would click this little thing here, and you would set how many of these you have. The problem is, If people order outside of the eShop, then you would have to come and manually update the quantities here, because the eShop won't know about manual orders, obviously. So for now, let's assume that there is no stock, and it's just presumed that it's in stock either way. I'll just keep going. The shipping is very important here, because in your case you use I can't remember, what is it, FedEx, not FedEx, DHL or FedEx, I can't remember, DHL, FedEx. Anyway, here you need to put the amount, the weight in kilograms. So if it's grams, then obviously this is 475 grams, so that's 0.475 kilograms. And then here in attributes, usually torches, and the reason I duplicated the product is because since I've already sort of put in most of the products myself, I've done most of the work essentially for you. So an attribute is like characteristics for the specific torch. In the cases of torches, it seems like I had something designated as lumens, and I have a lumen designation of what is it, 12,000 for this one. Now, if this wasn't a 12,000 torch and it was something else, it says 14,000, I guess. So I could probably go X, and I might find a 14,000 already in here. As you can see, there is a 14,000, but if there wasn't one, you could also create a new value for new lumens that I might not have added anyway. So I click, I don't know, new value, and I put 6,000. Obviously, I'm not going to actually use the value, but I'm just showing you how to add a new value, 6,000 lumen. They can't be two. Well, you could if you wanted to add two luminescence here, but that doesn't make sense since we already know that this torch is seemingly a 1400. So I'm just going to remove 6,000 from here, and that's it. That's that. And I don't think there's anything else for you to set here. If you keep going down, though, so you can go back to journal up here, and then if you keep going down, look at the right-hand side. Here is where you set the image. So you just click where the current image is. You go to Uploads, Files. You then click Select Files, and then you upload, the whatever the image is that you have for this product. I don't know what images I have on my computer. I'm not going to actually upload, but you click on it, you click open, and it will, I'm actually going to upload so that you can see what it does, and then I'll just delete the image. So there's now in, it's actually selected, and you would actually say set product image. Then of course it would set it. This is of course wrong. So I'm going to actually remove the product image, and I'm actually going to continue. So let's just assume for a moment that there was a correct image here. I'm just going to select the random product image. I don't really care. Not those. None of that works. None of this works. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll just select one. Here we go. Right? Now, as you continue on, you'll see that there's also something called a photo gallery. Now, these are not the right photos for this product because this is a new product. So again, I would go and I would grab the photos out of the PDF that you would send me, and then I would delete them by clicking the X button as you saw me do before. And now I can select product gallery images, and now it says tell me which product gallery images you have. You got to upload again. You don't have to upload them one by one. You could essentially do on your Mac, it would be Command. Is it Command Shift? It's probably Shift on your Mac as well, to be fair. No, it should be Command. I'm not on my Mac right now, damn it. It should be Command, well, either Shift or, anyway, you probably know how to multi-select on your Mac. So I could select these four, and then I could essentially just upload these four. And you'll see that they upload into the media library. And because they're selected and they're ticked, as soon as I do this, they are automatically added to the gallery. Now, if it adds it in the incorrect order, because I remember you have front-facing and back-facing photos and stuff like that, you can use your mouse to rearrange the photos by dragging them, like, we're assuming that the images are all the same size and so on. Now that you're done with the product image, which is the one that shows up in front, and the gallery images, which are the images that show under the product, you can select your category. But in this case, because we duplicated a product, it's already selected in diving, because that's the category we selected to work with today. And then basically when you're done, you would essentially hit publish here. And this product would now be published. Of course, I don't actually want this product to be published. So we'll go back into all products. And then I know it's for this product, so I'm just going to chuck it in the trash. All right. There you go. And actually, because my OCD can't handle it, I'm actually also going to empty the trash. You can keep things in trash if you think, you might reuse something, but in my case, this is not a valid product. There's nothing that you'll ever use. So I'm quite happy to delete it. And that is basically how one would add a product. That should cover you adding a product. And then for the reordering of what products you want to show first, I will show you a nice little trick where you can reorder products. Just let me actually install it, because I just noticed I don't have it installed for you. There's a thing here called that I need to install that I didn't seem to install here, which is called oops, sorry. I'm just going to install it because I just noticed I didn't install it, so it doesn't matter. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. What I am looking for is something else. It's oh, sorry, I wasn't intending on doing this, but I remembered that when we were on the phone, you said you would want to be able to order the products in a way that you would want. So I'm just installing the required tool for that. And then ideally, what would then happen is I would set it up like this. We're talking about products that we care about. And yeah, and then I'll just do this. There's nothing else I need to configure, is there? From what I remember, there is not. So I'll just save this. Now, if you notice carefully, when you go to products on top here, so when you do products, you would now see, and let me think where it is. Did I put products? Yeah, I did. All you would have to do essentially, now I remembered, sorry, I just couldn't remember which tool I installed. So now in products, which something you couldn't do before, you see when my mouse is over the product that it now became a cross. So for example, I could swap these two around. Do you see what I'm doing? So I'm basically just clicking and dragging, and I'm putting them in the order that I would want. In your case, what I would do is I would go per category and I'll go diving. I would hit the filter button so that it can filter out the diving equipment for me. And then I would reorder whatever diving equipment it is that I want to reorder. All right. So that's how you do reordering. I think that's enough for now to cover how you add a product as well as how you reorder products. You should be fine, I think. Obviously, if you need anything, you let me know. And if you can't do it or it annoys you too much, you tell me, you send me what it is you need me to, what you need to send, and I will do it for you. Remember that a product requires at least a title, a price, a product image. You don't need to put gallery images in if you don't want to, but we need at least one product image so it looks right, and then you can do your other stuff. That's about it.